The power to move a nation forward takes root in the productivity of business and industry. As your Meralco Corporate Partner, we understand the role power plays in fueling the growth of your business, how it moves, how it brings things to life, how it drives your business, and ultimately, how it plays a role in building a nation. We have evolved from being a power distribution company to a total energy solutions provider.
We value the fact that Meralco has taken a very proactive approach to customer service and given us the ability to provide reliable and sustainable services to our customers, effectively tying our relationship with Meralco to our relationship with our customers.
There is power in partnerships. Partner with us today.
I'm David Saldran. In this edition of Power Ideas, we talk to Kevin Benning, Chief Operating Officer of City of Dreams Manila, about how the integrated resort has embarked on a campaign towards sustainability. You know, in a city known for having one of the world's most spectacular sunsets, City of Dreams Manila is the first integrated resort in the country to harness solar energy in equally spectacular fashion. So, hello there, Kevin. You know, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would have loved to see in person, physically, how City of Dreams Manila was able to transform the rooftops of your parking buildings to generate solar power. But I guess a virtual tour with you would be the best for now, right?
Hi, David. Yes, it is. You know, welcome to the new normal. We're doing our best to make it work, and I cannot wait to take you on a personal tour of our rooftop when we go back to normal.
All right, Kevin, I'm looking forward to that visit. In the meantime, let's talk about how City of Dreams Manila has made a conscious decision to reduce its carbon footprint, with solar power being one of those initiatives. You currently have, I understand, 3,120 solar panels installed in the rooftops of 2 parking buildings, right? Now, that's the record for the largest installation in Manila. The amount of power produced by these solar panels is enough to light up 12,000 homes for a year, with an average monthly bill of 1,500 pesos.
That is correct. The City of Dreams Manila is extremely proud to be the first integrated resort in the country to harness solar energy. Now, this project, we invested 76 million pesos, 1.2 megawatts of solar power into this property, maximizing our car park, as we mentioned. It's an extremely important step for us to achieve our goal for carbon neutrality and becoming a zero waste resort. Having a clean, renewable source of energy with no waste or emissions is just the right thing to do in our world moving forward.
That sounds really fantastic, Kevin. Congratulations. I want to know, what are we looking at in terms of savings, power costs?
We're looking at about 16 million of energy savings per year. That equals about 20% of our hotel power consumption across our 940 rooms. But more than savings, we're looking at the larger picture. As an environmentally responsible business, we must do our share in the global movement to combat climate change, and we want to make a difference and fulfill our social responsibility.
Why did you choose Meralco subsidiary Spectrum as your partner?
I was asked this question quite a few times in December when we launched this program and implemented our solar panels. And the answer is very simple. Spectrum provides the best solutions, services, and capabilities in the Philippines in regards to solar and energy saving solutions. You know, on top of that, with Spectrum being a subsidiary of Meralco, who is somebody we've worked extremely closely with since we started City of Dreams, we have a great level of trust in the long-term vision of Spectrum. And something I continue to share with everyone is the speed and efficiency of which this project came together. It was only 4 months from start to finish when we partnered with Spectrum in July of 2019 to launch this fully in December of 2019. I've been working here for 5 years and I've yet to see a project come together as quickly and as well as this one did.
I also understand, Kevin, there are other initiatives within your resort complex which are geared towards self-sufficiency, correct? All of which fall under your Sustainable Dreams program. So tell me more about this program of yours.
Part of our overall sustainability strategy for Meralco Resorts and Entertainment across all of our properties in Asia and Europe, we launched here in Manila the Sustainable Dreams program in 2018. And that's really focused on long-term sustainability initiatives across multiple channels.
Wow, that's an amazing list of programs. And the best thing about it is, these are all long-term programs with long-term effects. So whether there's a pandemic or not, Kevin, like those solar panels of yours, for example, they'll continue to generate power, whether there's a pandemic or not. As they say in your industry, the house always wins. But at City of Dreams Manila, looks like the environment wins as well.
That's absolutely true, David. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much as well. Kevin Benning, COO of City of Dreams Manila. Stay safe, Kevin.
You as well.
This is David Saldran for Power Ideas by Meralco.
Understands that reliable and dependable energy is necessary to sustain and grow a business. Businesses that power a nation. Power Ideas by Meralco. Brought to you by the Meralco Corporate Partners. Beda College is a private Roman Catholic college with a satellite campus in Alabang, Muntinlupa. It is a sprawling 9.6-hectare campus with a student population of 7,000 from preschool to postgraduate levels. This campus, which first opened its doors in 1972, has gone through major changes through the years. In July 2013, the leadership of Beda College Alabang decided to implement an energy efficiency campaign throughout its campus.
My vision in terms of energy consumption is for Beda to be a front runner in being an energy efficient school. Now, this can only be done through a close and continuous monitoring and improvement of the power utilization in the school.
Our school, Beda College, in the south, we noticed that it increased its population. And the volume then coincides with our energy consumption. So we have to take a measure in order to conserve energy and our consumption of electricity in order to save. And our savings will go back to the school because we use it to buy or upgrade our facilities.
After Beda reached out to Meralco, Relationship Manager Patrick Panlillo set up a meeting with Beda to discuss how to improve the utilization of electricity in the campus.
Pagtawag sa team ng Meralco sa aming school ay nag-conduct ng energy efficiency audit sa aralan. At pagkatapos na nito ay classrooms, mga offices.
Together with the school's technical personnel, a thorough walkthrough of the electrical facilities of the school was conducted by the engineers of Meralco. Energy Solution Engineer Boy Daron and his team came up with a detailed recommendation on how to more effectively manage the school's power.
Dinala na yung kopya dito sa Beda at pinakita nga sa amin ang mga naging problema na nakita nila. So karamihan nga sa gamit namin mga equipment. sa mga naiiwang bukas na bintana at nakita din nila yung mga luma naming aircon na pilit pa rin namin pinagagana maski pwede nang i-junk.
Besides the gradual replacement of conventional to inverter-type air conditioners, Meralco's recommendations also included replacing lighting with LED lights that not only consume less power, but provide more effective lighting. The use of blinds and window tinting were also practical solutions to keep out the heat and optimize air conditioning. Suggestions like keeping a steady thermostat were practical solutions that did not require any investment.
After a year, when we implemented the recommendation of Meralco, not only I am surprised, but we are all very happy because we saw the drastic difference and the lowering of our electrical consumption. So we saved a lot. I think we succeeded in being efficient in utilizing our facilities, especially our energy consumption.
The proper implementation in San Beda's grade school buildings were replicated in the high school and college facilities. Meralco now does regular preventive maintenance checkups for the school's electrical facilities. These consolidated efforts have brought down energy consumption by 70,000 kilowatt hours for academic year 2014 to 2015. The program also brought about substantial savings for the campus. Despite the increase in the number of enrollees, the EII, or Energy Intensity Index, decreased.
Meralco helped us, assisted us in controlling and managing our tuition fees and expenses. Our quality education doesn't come with a regular increase of the fee or high price. And more importantly, our students will also inculcate the values of energy management so they can help not only in the society and our school, but also they can apply it at their home and help their parents save from their expenses.
We are happy to be of service to a learning institution like San Beda College, Alabang, as it provides quality education for a brighter future for the growth of our nation. It's our privilege to assist and contribute in every way to further knowledge and education. Ako po si Patrick Panlilio at ito po ang aking team ng energy experts. Handa pong tumulong sa inyo.
Power Ideas by Meralco. For end-to-end energy solutions, contact your Meralco Corporate Partners. Talk to us today.
Pleasant good afternoon and Happy New Year to all. Before anything else, may I request everyone to mute their microphones, please. Furthermore, in order to limit the bandwidth consumption, we request our non-speakers to turn off their video feeds. Good afternoon again. Welcome to the Meralco Power Up Live webinar on the refresher of the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act for the Lucio Co group of companies. My name is Erica Alvarez, Meralco Relationship handling Lucio Co group of companies. Before we begin, we'd just like to request our attendees to fill out the registration form via the link provided in the chat box. On behalf of Meralco, we would like to thank you for your support for the past year. COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted us in ways most of us did not expect, and we thank you for working with us as we all face this new normal. We organized this webinar for the Lucio Co group, namely Pure Gold Price Club, Nation Realty, Elemac Prime Holdings, VFC Land, Bellagio Holdings, and Festina Holdings, to focus on the requirements of designated establishments. This is a good opportunity for you, our customers, to know about the milestones for compliance in terms of designating energy conservation officers or energy managers in your own companies, accomplishing the energy utilization reports, as well as submitting these documents through the Department of Energy's online portal in time for the April 15, 2021 deadline. Now, before we get to the main event, why don't we look back of what happened last 2019? Meralco also organized a forum when the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law was newly enacted. And we also invited speakers to share its salient points with our corporate customers. Please watch this video.
Our CBG customers are the top customers of Meralco, so they are our biggest consumers. The most benefit from energy efficiency will also come from the big ones. So we want them to be the first to be able to save and to benefit from this law and to comply, of course, because there are benefits and, of course, penalties for this.
For medium and large consumers, usually commercial, industrial, and government, for those who consume at least 500,000 kilowatt hours, you now have obligations under the law. So you will now have mandatory energy audit every 3 years. You will now have to employ a certified energy conservation officer or certified energy manager. You now have to submit your energy consumption report to DOE every April 15, both electricity and non-electricity. Energy efficiency will happen much faster now because DOE has enough teeth to push all energy users to participate in the long-term goal of reducing what we call energy intensity or making the whole economy energy efficient. That's the goal.
We have to follow what is written in the law, and we are very law-abiding corporate citizen.
As early as now, we can prepare to be ready for the compliance and to enjoy benefits of complying to this new law.
I'd like to thank and commend Meralco for keeping its customers abreast with new developments in the energy industry.
We will be waiting for the implementing rules and regulation so that we could start on working on the requirements of this law, because we really need to comply so that we would not be penalized.
So what we're saying is, if right now in Luzon, we're consuming something like 14 megawatt, just multiply it by simply 50%. So we have an available power again, virtual power, 7,000 megawatt. So that's how we look at this bill.
Actually, it is a technology-driven program, meaning that changing our conventional lighting technology to a new one like fluorescent lamp, changing it into a linear LED lamps. In the case of buildings like this, 60 to 7% of their consumption, it's more on the cooling system. So opportunities can be looked at on this cooling system.
It opens a great opportunity for the DOE and for the national government to take the lead and use this law and address the issues of climate change.
So right now, we already have our plans and programs for energy conservation. but it enhanced my knowledge further on how to improve the ways we do it in our company.
If we're going to implement this rigorously, it will redound to the benefits of the community and also to the company.
It is exciting for me to know that the role of the Certified Energy Manager has been institutionalized in the new Act. And it excites me to know that the government is doing its efforts to conserve energy and our resources.
Environment is very important to us. We need to preserve it for the next generation. Without it, basically, what's the use of going into business if we cannot sustain that business for our people?
Yun na. We also conducted a webinar last November with the objective of giving a refresher of the EE&C law so our customers can better prepare in accomplishing the required energy reports. The link to this webinar recording can also be found on our website. Throughout this webinar, feel free to type your questions and or comments to our speakers and panelists. We encourage you to identify yourselves so we can acknowledge you properly. We'll do our best to post all your questions during the Q&A segment later on this program. And now, to formally start this webinar, let us hear from Ms. Bezzy Mina, serving the lead for the consumer team under Private Sector Relationship Management of Corporate Business Group.
Yan. Thank you, Erica. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year again. First of all, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for giving us this opportunity to facilitate a webinar on refresher of energy efficiency and conservation law for the whole Lucio Co group. Again, ako po si Bezzy and I am the industry lead for consumer products team under the corporate business group. So, you know, alam naman po natin, we will all remember 2020 as a year of all the unexpected and unprecedented changes, not only for global health and economic crisis, but also on how we deal our day-to-day lives, di ba? So, the best that we can do is, as we welcome another year, is of course to move forward and bounce back and think of ways on how to improve ourselves. So one of the things that we need to focus on is sustainability, just like energy efficiency projects. With the energy efficiency law, change is set upon us again, as we need to educate and refresh ourselves on what this law mandates, and more importantly, what impact it might have in our industry and to all our collective businesses. As we continue to face the new normal this 2021, many businesses are facing the path forward full of stumbling blocks, trying to adapt their operations at their customers' best. Let's simply use these stumbling blocks to build something better for the future of our business. So in behalf of Meralco, we hope that with this webinar, we would be able to address your business concerns and continue to shed light on how we can navigate the times ahead together. Again, di ko na patatagalin. Maraming salamat po and enjoy the rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you, Bezzy. Moving along to the main event of our program, our next speaker will talk about the obligations of designated establishments under the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law, or the Republic Act 11285, and discuss how to accomplish the required energy consumption reports in time for the April 2021 deadline. Let us all welcome on screen Energy Solutions Mr. Danny Aquilio.
Hi, masayang araw po sa inyong lahat. Again, I'm Danny Aquilio from Energy Services team of the Corporate Business Group. I'm here to provide you some updates on energy efficiency and conservation for corporate customers. The presentation slides that I will be making use of here were approved for use by Director Patrick Aquino of the Department of Energy. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the content of my presentation includes energy service companies or ESCOs, the Philippine Energy Labeling Program, PELP, designated establishments, the concepts and obligations, the guidelines on energy conserving design of buildings, and of course, the fiscal incentives. Next slide. Republic Act 11285, or the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, was approved and signed by President Rodrigo Duterte on April 12, 2019. After 2 weeks upon its publication, it became effective on May 22, 2019. The Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, or EE&C Act, institutionalizes energy efficiency and conservation, enhance the efficient use of energy, and grant incentives to energy efficiency and conservation projects. Next slide. Energy service companies or ESCOs. Slide. These are our partners in complying with the EE&C law, as they offer multi-technology services and goods towards designing and developing of EE projects and delivering and guaranteeing energy savings, ensuring cost-effective and optimal performance. The governing rules for ESCOs is the Department Circular Number DC 2020-09-0018, which provides the guidelines, rules, and procedures in the administration, classification, and certification of ESCOs. Next slide. The scope of the DC number 2020-09-0018 establishes the guidelines, rules, and procedures in the administration, classification, and certification of ESCOs, with the overarching goal of enhancing professionalism, credibility, and quality of services. There are two classifications of ESCOs. The first is the registered ESCO. This is one that seeks professional service to DOE for the first time, and it meets the minimum requirement on legal and technical capacity. The validity of the certificate for registered ESCO is for 3 years. On the other hand, certified ESCOs is, in addition to meeting the legal and technical capacity, they also have to prove that their performance on results-based project savings and in providing customer satisfaction to their customers. The validity of the certificate for certified ESCOs is for 5 years. Next slide, please. As of November 2020, there are already a number of ESCOs in the list of DOE, both registered and certified. Among them is the Meralco Energy, or MSERV. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. In terms of what the roles of ESCOs can play in the energy efficiency capital requirement of the Philippines, from 2017 to 2040, we're looking here of with accelerated EE capital flows through ESCO performance contracts, PPP transactions, JV agreement, government large-scale retrofit programs, and other innovative solutions. The projected EE capital mobilization of around 8 trillion pesos is seen, no? This is based on the Philippine Energy Efficiency Alliance, data from Philippine Energy Efficiency Alliance. If we do just the business as usual, capital to be mobilized through self-finance, debt finance, lease finance, and other in-house innovative modalities, the projected balance sheet of host and end user projects would only amount to about, well, 4 trillion pesos. That's for business as usual. So considering the difference of 4 trillion, there's a lot, no, in store for energy efficiency and for the ESCO business as well. Next slide, please. Going to the Philippine Energy Labeling Program, or PELP, it intends to encourage the practice of energy efficiency and conservation as a way of life through the promotion and use of energy efficient products, and in transforming the market by regulating energy consuming products, or ECPs. There are two issuances on the matter. The first is Department Circular Number DC 2020-06-0015, which prescribes the guidelines for the Philippine Energy Labeling Program for its compliance by importers, manufacturers, distributors, and dealers of electrical appliances and other energy-consuming products. Another is Department Circular DC 2020-06-0016, which prescribes the minimum energy performance for products, or MEPP, as covered by the Philippine Energy Labeling Program for compliance of importers, manufacturers, distributors, dealers, and retailers of energy-consuming products. Next slide. The objectives of the PELP is really in empowering consumers in choosing the energy-efficient products at the point of sale. Realizing energy savings and reductions of energy consumption through their bills, through the use of energy efficient products. And of course, the overall goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. For MEPP, this is to eliminate the entry and sale of inefficient and substandard products in the local market. Next slide. Overview, it includes importers, manufacturers, distributors, and dealers of electrical appliances and energy-consuming products. Initially, PELP would cover the appliances like air conditioning, refrigeration, and television, and also lighting products. Next slide, please. Now to the meat of what we are here for, the concepts and obligations of designated establishments. Next slide. The designated establishments refer to a private entity in the commercial, industrial, transport, power, and other sectors that may be identified later on as energy-intensive and industries. These are based on the annual energy consumption, which is actually a combination of both fuel and electricity. So the annual energy consumption, kasama po rito yung fuel and electricity, not just electricity alone. There are three types of designated establishments. The first is what we call as other DE, whose consumption is at least 100,000 kilowatt hours, but less than 500,000 kilowatt hours. Another type 1 designated establishments, their consumption ranges between 500,000 kilowatt hours, but less than 4 million kilowatt hours. And the biggest type 2 designated establishments, their consumption uh, starts at 4 million kilowatt hours and above. These are governed by MC Circular or Memorandum Circular MC 2020-05-001, directing all designated establishments under commercial, industrial, and transport sectors to submit, among others, energy consumption reports. So, among other, isa lang yung energy consumption report doon sa mga requirement for designated establishments. Next slide, please. The requirement for designated establishments includes the submission of their annual energy efficiency and conservation report, or EE&C Form 3, and their annual energy utilization report, or EE&C Form 4. Both forms can be downloaded dun po sa link indicated dun sa slide below. Yeah, nakalagay doon, HTTPS online submission, online downloading and online submission of the requirements. Next slide. For type 1 designated establishments, they have to employ, the primary requirement is that they have to employ an energy conservation officer whose qualification includes he or she must have at least 2 years of continuous hands-on experience in the installation, operation, and maintenance of energy-consuming machines and equipment in facilities with energy consumption of at least 500,000 kilowatt hours, but less than 4 million kilowatt hours. So 2 years of continuous experience, hands-on continuous experience for type 1 designated establishments. They also have to submit their annual energy efficiency and conservation report, EC Form 3, and their annual energy utilization report, EC Form 4. Again, the link indicated po dun sa bottom ng slide. Next slide. And for the requirements for type 2 designated establishments, they have to employ an energy manager. May pagbabago po rito, the qualification of an energy manager, he or she must be a graduate of a 4-year course or its equivalent, preferably engineering, with at least 3 years of continuous hands-on experience in the installation, operation, and maintenance of energy-consuming machines and equipment in facilities with energy consumption of at least 4 million kilowatt hours. Again, this refers to the annual energy consumption. Another requirement is for them to submit an annual energy efficiency and conservation report, Form 3, and annual energy utilization report, Form 4. So link po na provided below. Next slide. Now for the guidelines on energy conserving design for buildings. Why buildings? As seen as viewed po dun sa slide video kanina from the DOE, 56% of the building's energy consumption goes to air conditioning, 18% for office equipment, 16% um, oh, 18% for lighting, 16% for office equipment, and the remaining 10% for other equipment. So if the major cost centers would be addressed through uh, building, uh, through proper design sa onset pa lang nung construction or design, then malaking savings na makukuha from there. Next slide. So to encourage and promote the energy conserving design of buildings and their services, so as to reduce the use of energy with due regard to the cost effectiveness, building function, comfort, health, safety, and productivity of the occupants, na-formulate po itong energy conserving design of buildings. So the guideline would cover those buildings with electrical loads of at least 112.5 kVA or with at least 10,000 square meters total gross floor area. The guidelines would include provisions on building envelope, electrical systems, and mechanical systems. It is hoped that through the energy conserving design of buildings, it will boost the demand for energy efficient materials and technologies that in turn will help to meet the requirements ng energy efficiency and conservation law and through the guidelines. Next slide. Okay. The guidelines on energy conserving design would include such requirements as building envelope, the provisions under mechanical systems like air conditioning and ventilating systems, steam and hot water systems. Under electrical systems, nandun po yung lighting, electric motors, electric power and distribution, and renewable energy systems and equipment. Probably this first quarter lalabas na po yung more information on these guidelines, the energy conserving design of buildings, and makikita ron na safe or permitting requirements, magkakaroon po ng mas klaro na mga provisions from there. Next slide. Now on the fiscal incentives. Next slide. For the endorsement of EE projects to the BOI for availment of fiscal incentives. Now, energy efficiency projects is defined as those projects that are designed to reduce energy consumption or cost by any improvement, repair, alteration, or betterment of any building or facility or any equipment, fixture, or furnishing to be added to or used in any building, facility, or vehicle, including the manufacture and provision of services related thereto. For the processing time from the start of project application up to the DOE endorsement to the BOI, tinitingnan po rito some 20 days of processing time. The primary evaluation criteria that would have to be met is at least 15% savings threshold as measured at the project boundary in order to have access to the following rates of income tax holidays. So from 15 to 20% of energy savings at the project boundary, the rate of ITH is 15%. For those with savings of more than 20% up to 25%, the rate of ITH is 75%. And for those exceeding 25% of energy savings at the project boundary, the rate of ITH is equivalent to 100%. All registered energy efficiency projects shall be granted with pioneer incentives if the said EC projects or enterprise is registered as a pioneer project or enterprise in accordance with Executive Order 226. Next slide, please. So why are we talking about EE? Well, it is due to the predicted increase in the power generation of the Philippines. According to the APEC Energy Demand and Supply Outlook, the power generation requirement of the Philippines increased by 4.8% during the outlook period. So from 2010 level of 67 terawatt hours, it would increase to 187 terawatt hours by year 2035. Now, at 15% energy savings in all sector, the predicted maximum potential savings by year 2021 would be about 17.26 terawatt hours. And by 2035, that would be 28.05 terawatt hours. Yan po yung gaano kalaki yung energy savings being projected through because of energy efficiency. So at a rate of 10 pesos per kilowatt hour, the savings on energy efficiency would be from between 172.6 billion starting 2021 to 280.5 billion of savings by 2035. Ganun po kalaki yung projected savings through energy efficiency. Imagine kung iyan po ay mapupunta sa economy, it would boost the economy in the years to come. Okay, next slide. Okay, for further questions or information, you may contact your relationship manager or email us customercare@meralco.com.ph. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Sir Danny. Again, I encourage everyone, this is your moment to ask your questions and clear your the topics related to the EE&C law. May I encourage you to please type your questions and comments at the chat box. Please identify yourself so we can acknowledge you properly. So at this point, we will now proceed with the Q&A portion, wherein we will be joined by Bezi Mina, Danny Aquilio, our speakers for today, and with a special participation of Ms. Cecil Marvilla, MSUR Vice President and Head of Energy Efficiency Group. I shall now direct the comments and questions of our viewers. Okay, we have one question in the chat group from Mr. Denzel Maxino. Does ECO and EM have requirements other than the aforementioned minimum years of experience related, such as certification, etc.? Sir Danny, can I forward the question to you, please?
Sure. Thank you for that. There will be other requirements in terms of certification, but it will come in later, considering that the certification modules is yet to be formalized. So it will take some time pa through the assistance ng TESDA and other NCHED, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Danny. Thank you. From another participant, another question. If we have multiple establishments, is it allowed to just assign one ECO or EM instead of placing one per establishment? Is the 500,000 kilowatt the average of an annual consumption? Again, Sir Danny, can I forward the question to you, please?
For the first question, yes, one EM or SECO may be allowed to handle several establishments as long as the assignment or for on such assignments, the SECO and EM must ensure na he can perform all the obligations related dun sa designated establishments being handled. Now, for the 500,000 energy requirement, it refers to the annual energy consumption of both fuel and electricity. So, from the previous year. So, 2020 na formulate yun. So, 2019, tiningnan yung annual energy consumption. And then from there, in-establish kung type 1, type 2, or other designated establishment, yung classification. Thank you.
Thank you again, Sir Danny. Question from Sir Rafael. For type 2 DEs, are echoes also required along with EMs? Sir Danny?
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, nagkaroon ng ano.
To repeat, for type 2 DEs, are echoes also required along with EMs?
For type 2, the requirement is only for EM. That would be sufficient. Actually, that's the requirement, the designation for the employment of an EM for type 2. Thank you.
Another from the admin of Pure Gold. For its establishments with 2 kilowatt hour meters, do we need to have 2 echoes also?
The preference of the DOE that for each SIN, an assigned echo or EM. But an echo or EM may also handle simultaneous SINs or assignments. Thank you.
For the other question raised earlier, is the 500,000 kilowatt the average of an annual consumption?
That's correct.
Thank you, sir. There. Another question, Sir Danny. Can an REE be an energy manager, or the EM should have continuous hands-on experience?
Based on the requirement, an EM must have completed at least 4 years of college education. So an REE, are you referring to a registered electrical engineer or a registered? Well, if you're referring to a registered RME, okay. So REE, yes, an REE may be designated as an energy manager, since an REE has already completed at least 4 years, actually 5 years of college education. Now, in terms of actually hands-on experience, the requirement is 3 years of continuous experience, hands-on experience on the industry or facility that they are assigned to. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. From the admin of Pure Gold again, who shall provide or be responsible for the DOE reporting for establishments under a building with multiple tenants qualified as type 1 or other DE?
Supposedly, those for buildings with multiple tenants, the SIN holder would be the one responsible for reporting the energy consumption of their building. Normally, they would only report the energy requirement for common areas, and then it would be up to the tenants, other tenants, to report on the energy consumption of their individual stores to the mother corporation. So, ano yan, hiwalay po yung reporting for that. Thank you.
May question kayo?
Thank you again, Sir Danny. For our next question, maybe if we install EE measures, how soon can we anticipate savings, realized gains, since installation is quite hefty on the company's pocket as well? Can I forward the question to Ms. Cecil, please?
Yeah, any energy efficiency policy or program, you can actually enjoy it immediately after installing the equipment. Of course, financing is a different matter. There are options naman for financing, and there are a lot of different providers for that, and MServe can also help you with that. So, pero pag nag-implement na kayo ng energy efficiency program or nagpalit na kayo ng mga gamit, immediately you can already realize the savings.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. I think this other question can also be answered by Ms. Cecil.
Yes, go ahead.
Does the annual energy consumption includes the consumption of our tenants inside our establishment?
As mentioned by Danny, the SIN holder reports the consumption report.
Sorry, it's the next section. Can MServe provide SECO and CEM services if we do not want to hire a designated SECO and CEM in our company?
Ang workaround natin for that is we help you through the process, but we cannot sign for you. So what we advise is you appoint someone within your company already who's already handling facilities, and he's the best person, or your PCO. Typically, if there are reportorial responsibilities sa DNR, familiar na siya with reportorial requirements then for the DOE. So that's the best person for you to appoint na organic, and then we will help that person through the process.
Thank you, Mrs. Any other questions? Any further questions from anyone from Pure Gold or the group of companies? This would be the right venue to raise all of them. So medyo maging klaro yung ating magiging submission for the April 2021 deadline. Especially na Pure Gold has like more than 400 stores to be audited, right? Another question posted in the chat group. I'm very interested in indoor air quality solutions for my building. May we contact you for this, Ms. Cecil?
Yes, of course, Miss Melissa. You can get my number from Erica. We have a whole list of products we can offer for your building.
Thank you again. I'm just checking the chat group if there are any other questions. From Ms. Janelle Ong. Is the government planning an incentive program for business establishments that will champion energy efficiency and conservation? Sir Danny or Miss Cecil, please feel free to answer.
Yeah, aside from income tax holiday, there are the DOE is also working on VAT exemption and import tax-free purchases for big equipment. So I think that's still in the process. We will inform you as soon as the BOI has finalized the IRR for that. Plus, there's an award ceremony. The DOE will award companies that have championed energy efficiency and are implementing it across all of their companies.
I guess, ma'am, this is a follow-up question on the taxes. Can this tax incentive be retroactively applied to energy efficient machines and equipment we've already installed?
Unfortunately, it's moving forward. So if it's already installed and bought, you cannot apply for it anymore.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Another important question, because this is regarding penalties from Admin Pure Gold. Are there penalties for non-compliance on the deadline set by the DOE, which is April 2021? Sir Danny or Ms. Cecil, can I forward you the question?
In terms of severity, well, there would be penalties, but in terms of severity, we're not sure of how they will treat it, the non-compliance come April 2021. The law itself provided penalties, but now again, we don't know how they will be imposed for non-compliance this year. But I won't encourage. I would encourage you. We would encourage you, of course, to submit all the requirements due this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Danny. Another question. Has Meralco started complying with the EEC law, and how has it implemented this in its compound and branches? I forward the question to my team leader, Bezzy.
Thanks, Erica. Yes, we've already implemented energy efficiency measures for Meralco, but we're more on concentrated on our main office, which is in the Lopez building. So we're currently collecting all the energy consumptions and preparing for the report in due for the before, so we could submit before the deadline on April 2021. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you, Bezzy. Another question related to the penalties. Who will be penalized, the ECO or the establishment? Sir Danny, can you answer your question, please?
Well, the declared ECO or EM and the one who leads the company, both would be penalized. Not just the ECO.
So both?
Both.
So both will be penalized?
Yes.
Be penalized for non-compliance on the submission. Tama ba, Sir Danny?
Again, I don't know how it will be implemented this year.
So based on the recent law rules, the one penalized the ECO and the establishment if non-submittal this April. Correct, Ms. Cecil?
Yes.
All right.
But I'm sure they will not be strict this year because of the pandemic. It's very difficult to accomplish the form. Plus, it's new. So marami pa yang mga considerations.
That's good to hear, especially on the side of the Pure Gold Group, right? Another question from Gold Cafe Fernandino. Is this applicable for non-Meralco provider?
Yes, applies to all, regardless of your DU.
I hope that answers your question, sir or ma'am of Pure Gold Cafe Fernandino. Another one, do we have any information of when can DOE online uploading of reports be ready? Anyone?
There's already a Google Drive. We can send you the link, but the platform itself is not yet ready. So any submissions from now until the platform's ready, you can use the Google Drive link. I think we can post it, Anna.
Thank you for that, Ms. Cecil. If you have actually queries on that, or if you need the link, I can also provide you with that one. How are we supposed to submit our DOE reports?
If I can answer that, we have a proposal
please.
for Pure Gold. Commercial muna tayo. We have sent the proposal to your procurement office. We can help you through that process. And you can use the Google Drive to already upload your submissions.
That's great news, right? MServe will be there to assist. Call me or call me Cecil. We'll be glad to assist you. Another question, is there a help desk where we can ask questions and get immediate replies?
I don't know about immediate replies, Sir Danny, but you can always email the EUMB office. They have a website. There's a tab on the DOE website that directs you to the energy efficiency office, or the EUMB who handles energy efficiency.
Thank you. Now sa forms naman tayo. How do we accomplish the EEC Form 4A?
Paging MServe. It's quite complicated, so I don't think we can answer it in this forum, but we'll be glad to help you through that process.
Maybe for that we can set up another meeting related to that para rin siguro when MServe presents the proposal to the group, we can also discuss that, right, Ms. Cecil?
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Ms. Nicey. I just want to shout out, I'd like to shout out the message of Ms. Nicey. Thank you to the Meralco team for your constant support to Pure Gold. We appreciate it very much. Thank you, Ma'am Nicey. We're here to support and assist you anytime po. So, are there any questions? Going once? So, okay. It has been a very enlightening Q&A segment. Clearly, we have a lot to discuss. We hope that we were able to clarify and cover most, if not all, of the topics and questions. Thank you to our panelists for joining our Q&A. And if you have further questions or concerns, we encourage you to contact me, of course, your relationship manager, so I can give assistance to all your concerns, especially the EE&C Law Act. You can also visit our website at www.corporatepartners.meralco.com.ph. Thank you again, and we hope to see you soon in our future meetings and webinars. We hope to do this more often. That is why we are posting the link to our survey form at the Q&A panel. Please share us your thoughts on how best you can gain more useful information and tips from the Meralco Corporate Partners. Before I end this forum, how can I request everybody to turn on their cameras? before we say goodbye, we would like to have a photo op of all the participants who are here in the forum. There you are. Hello everyone and masayang araw po. I hope you're safe and well.
Yes, thank you, Miss Erica.
Thank you, Miss Erica.
Mr. Danny and Miss Cecil.
Are we ready for the photo op?
May photo ops pa.
Miss Erica, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yan, ang dami-dami pala. Ngayon ko lang sila nakikita lahat and ngayon lang nila ako makikita for most then also, no? I haven't seen everyone. Okay. Ito na ba lahat tayo? 1, 2, 3, smile!
Wala naman nag-video.
Hindi sa signal lang siguro natin.
Okay na po ba? Or may isa pa? 1 pa lang yun. Ilang pages ba tayo? Ay, yung iba walang video.
Naka-close po ang video. And may audio tayo. Naka-disconnect po kami yung video.
Sorry. I'm having... Sandali lang po. Isa-save ko lang yung pictures ninyo. Alright. Lahat na po ba naka-on ang video? Smile everyone! 1, 2, 3! Alright. And the rest of... Yung iba hindi rin maka-on ng videos, no? Anyways, again, thank you for participating in this webinar. Again, I am your host for today, Erica Alvarez. Good afternoon and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erica, again.
Thank you, Ms. Girly. Thank you po. Thank you po sa lahat na nag-attend. For questions po, don't forget to just email me or call me.